Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, if you have an election and you say you're a country that respects democracy and the will of the people, and you have an election and you have a certain group, party, having a political platform, and they get voted in the office to represent the will of its constituency, the ones who voted for them. So let's say I want to say, okay, I want to be elected, and if I'm going to be elected, I'm going to close the Ministry of Education. And people elect me for that, partly, and I get elected. Now when I get elected, what am I supposed to do? Do what I said I will do, correct? Otherwise I'll be a weasel, and next time nobody will want to vote for me. Or if I'm a weasel, I will find other ways to, wash the whole thing. And I'm going to go and be elected, represent that. If I have the power, I will close the Ministry of Education. And you will not have any outrage over there because you got elected. Most people voted for you. Therefore, you should have the majority of consensus and support. Is that right? I would say so. Not necessary, but if you go by by majority, yes, it should be that way. Some people on your own party or people who voted for you might disagree with that, but some people who didn't vote for you might also disagree with that, and some people will not. Anyway, it should not be an outrage because I did something that I said in my campaign that I will do, because you voted for that, partly because I said many things, and one of those things is this. So let's go and see what's going on in Sweden. In Sweden, as you know, things changed a little bit. And the liberals do not like that a bit. Liberals, I'm talking the communists. I'm not equating them. I'm just exaggerating and making fun. But liberal, you go towards that if you go to the extreme, and if you go right, to go to paradise. Just kidding. All right. So here, Sputnik. This is from today, which is the 27th of October 2022. New Swedish government under fire for shutting down Environment Ministry. So they shut down the Environment Ministry. It's very unusual, to say the least. Although it was elected on pledges that it would tighten immigration policy and fight violent crime, the new government is expected first and foremost to settle economic issues. Yeah, that's good. As Sweden, like many other European nations, is burned with record-breaking inflation and a growing energy crisis. So they say, okay, we're gonna take care of the economy. How do you take care of the economy? Some countries think that by making money and giving people money to spend on things that they do not produce, that's the way to go, but that will create more inflation and you don't solve the problem. You just postpone it until it breaks. Or you can say, well, how about we create an environment in our country, a business-friendly environment. How do you create that? Well, if I tax you more here, but I don't tax you less here, well, guess where the business is going to go? Where you tax them more? No. On the same country. All right, let's say I tax you, or not tax you, I give you less regulation here and more regulation here. Where do you think the business will go? Keeping everything else, let's say, constant. The number of people and so on. So obviously that's one way to attract business, a big way, because I don't want to go and invest somewhere where you're going to get all my money and I'm not going to have any profit. I don't go over there as a business person to help the community. No, I'm going to go over there to provide a supply to a demand. And I want money out of that business. I don't go over there to just look good. No, I go over there to get money, to get a profit. Now, if the part of my profit is taken with for taxes and all that, I understand. But when that gets too much and my effort doesn't really back the effort, and I say, bye-bye, like that. Like the juice doesn't worth the squeeze, the same here. It's not worth fighting in a business, how should I put it, an environment and work as crazy and get this much. I go to the other place where I work as much as I worked here, but instead of getting this much, I get this much. So guess where I'm going to go? So provide a business-friendly environment. I'm not saying you should provide it like being in a Wild West, do whatever you want, but there are certain things that you have to take chances for a while, and then again you start squeezing the whole thing until the economy goes a little bit up. Because that's what happens with the Nordic states. When they say, well, the Nordic states European Nordic states are all socialists. That's a good example. Look how wealthy they are. The wealth was not done by socialists. The wealth was done by capitalists in the 70s and 80s. And then when they switch into what they are now, they're eating their savings. They destroy their societies. And don't give me Norway. Norway without their oil that they found over there would be the same as the other ones. But because they got oil, 20 years ago or something, 15, 17, can't remember exactly. Now all of a sudden they just, woohoo! And they give here, they make programs here and programs there. Yeah, you can afford doing that, but that's not because you have a economic model that will destroy everybody else. No, it's because you all of a sudden, God showed you, hey, you got resources. Great, woohoo! Use them. Fantastic. If you can give it to the Norwegian people, a good standard of living, be communists if you want. I'm talking about economically. Do it. Even though that's going to be running down because some people will take over things because that's the way we are. So let's move back to this, guys. Sweden has had a separate environment ministry for decades, but no more. As the new center-right government, I'm surprised that they didn't say far-right, led by the moderate party, has decided to close it down. After 35 years, the country's new government has made environmental policy the responsibility of the newly created Climate and Business Ministry, in effect merging environmental and business interests. Whereas before 1987 the Environment Ministry was part of the Agriculture Ministry, it's boom. Okay, the decision sparked outrage in the nation that has produced such a climate idols, environmental gurus as Greta Thunberg. Oh my God, and she is a child, doesn't know shit. Let's start with that one. That's why we take adults to get office, because adults had an opportunity to. We don't make policies based on what the freak a kid says that. Otherwise, we let them be in charge. Like you have your house and have a kid. Okay, why don't you run the house? Why don't you tell us where to go to work, how much to spend, all that? Do you think this will be great? It was a book. I can't remember the name of the book, when the adults disappeared or something and the kids were in charge. And they screwed up every fucking thing. Because that's the way they are. They don't know shit. That's a reality. They not that adults know. The adults should know if they pay attention and they work hard and diligently to gain information and experience. But as a child, come on, be honest now. What do they know? Where's my candy? I want my cartoons and what? When you get to... Anyway, so... That's what, and we get Greta. Greta, do you think Greta knows anything about it? She doesn't like certain things that her parents, her blah blah blah, and she's pushed, she's just used. I'm sorry for the girl. And besides, she's got a lot of mental health issues from what I read, and you can find online, all kind of, and she's a disturbed child in a certain way. I'm not saying that you should not listen to what the child wants, but we don't make policy based on what the children say. And oh my God, the children say that candies should be for free. Must be good because they like candies. Let's do it because it's a good policy. Or the children said no more school because that hurts their feelings and they're all depressed and full of anxiety, social anxiety. Yeah, let's ban school anymore. We don't do it that way because we know better how the life works, how nature is. But here all of a sudden, oh, Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is. When I heard that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? How old is this? Does she know this changes her underwear every day or not? How is she taking a shit? She knows how to take a shit or not? I don't think so. And she tells us about the environment and she's over there and everybody's like, yeah, very deep. Yeah, say more, Greta. Yeah. The fuck is that? Those adults, that's caressing them. My way. Anyway, so no more environmental or whatever switch from this created outrage. The whole article goes down with different people from media and this liberal saying, oh my God, it's the end of the world, what are we gonna do? You don't hear the other side. I just mentioned some of it at the beginning of this video, but maybe staying alive now is better than staying alive in 300 years. So this is I have my life right now. Oh, Emily, you're selfish. What the fuck are you talking about? I have only one life. What am I supposed to do? Live in a cave for the next generations, 20 generations maybe, to be alive? I don't even know if that's gonna happen. But screw I'm gonna go back in the caves and dig in the earth and eat roots over there and pick up eggs from the birds and so on. That's what you want me to go? And you're gonna be fantastic. Yeah, man, I love the environment. If you want to do that, you do it. I don't want to do that. I'm understanding that you have to be, environmentally conscious and say, okay, man, but not like that. We're going to put taxes on carbon emission and shit. They're going to tax my glasses for carbon that this was spent to be created, to be made, produced. Are you crazy? They're gonna, okay, how much carbon was used in this? Now Emil pays, you buy this, you pay carbon tax. I don't want to do that, so I'm not gonna buy this one. So then I'm gonna go in a freaking cave, digging roots and eating eggs from the freaking nests. No, I don't want to do that. So yeah, should be under control, but don't spiral into craziness. And Greta, go to school and wait your time, get experience, and then you come back and you tell us when you say something that is really, really articulated, like Obama. Talk nicely, but don't say shit. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.